Gennady Golovkin, a true modern knockout machine.
You had
Carl
to go down to
Superest.
place some gloves in their spot.
Many mocking fighters along the way with great humility and respect towards their opponent, as no one let their fists fly.
I caught the last word back there.
They even
But what
set
if you don't
Rado
remember?
in a disgusting online funeral his name. In today's video, we'll enjoy as these boxing champs learn the lesson the hard way. Azura spoiler alert.
Some of them prefer to run to the beach.
Before we continue fighting, let the massacre begin. Gennady Golovkin versus Dominic Wade. With a fight that took place on April 23rd, 2017 at the Randolph Hall in Inglewood, California, with a payout of $2 million. Did Golovkin go up to the ring?
Perfect record.
A record of 35 victories, well above the $500,000 that Dominic Wade received.
To enter the ring with a record of 10.
18 wins and 1 loss. Even so, reason White believed he was the main character of the night. I was long before joining Inglewood Forum. Well, Wade maliciously provoked Golovkin during the pre-fight interviews. But mocking a failure like Golovkin wouldn't do much good. Once both fighters were on the honorable fighting ring, Wade would learn that those who laugh it off end up crying. The fight started and Golovkin's offense was overwhelming. Letting his fist do the talking, Golovkin succeeded from the very first second in defending himself from all of Wade's taunts he had done to him before the fight.
Now watch out for the tide.
Convinced that he was up to par to counter Golovkin's offense, but it was just an illusion. As the first round drew to a close, the situation...
Your action was heating up.
For the...
Suddenly, a powerful right hook knocks White down for the first time in the competition.
Contented. That could have been enough.
To end it and cut to the chase, but Wade decided to continue with his punishment.
Continue.
Hindi back rather than the war. A lot of people expect.
Subtitles created by the Amara.org community.
Moving into the second round, Golovkin showed undeniable dominance against Wade. With 2 crushing right hands, he had pulse on all 4s.
Goodbye. Sorry.
It's not him. Yes, he knows he's going to get tagged every time because he's a pressure fighter.
Surprisingly, the Burrow appeared.
If not understanding
This
that...
fight just wasn't for him. And he managed to beat Jack Rice's safety count, the referee. It wasn't until he received
Go for a right hook to the head.
shortly after.
Who fell to the canvas for the last time?
Is it close? It was on Golovkin's
With this victory, Golovkin retained the World Boxing Association's middleweight world titles.
Yeah, the Internet Users Federation
of Boxing, the Ibero-American Organization of Boxing, and the interim title of the World Boxing Council. What was his 22nd consecutive knockout was also a great lesson for Wade. What's up, friends?
Team versus Martin Moray.
While Golovkin's victory over Wade was clear from the first round, the outcome of his match against Martin Morawiec, it was a back and forth of strong emotions. The weigh-in took place
on February 21st.
2015 at the Rindle South Desk at home in Monte Carlo, Monaco. More ride tips.
Wait a minute.
He entered the final round thinking he was invincible. With a record of 29 victories, most by knockout, Burrow really believed he would be able to defeat Golovkin. And his confidence...
He probably posted about it a little.
I could do more in the media, but Mordre wasn't just a buffalo.
Olifo was the King's. He was also...
it was within the ropes. He fought aggressively, he was decked out with...
strong punches from a boxer.
That never stepped back. There's a role.
Murray was supposed to become one of the...
hardest test to fill the air? Golovkin clinching a knockout victory against a fighter who, by the way, had never been knocked out before. He was going to mark a milestone in his professional career when the fight between these two fighters finally began. All the scenarios seemed to unravel at once. From the first few seconds, Gennady took the center of the ring and started pushing his opponent to the ropes. An unusual scene, as Murray had rarely backed down from confrontation before. But now it was Golovkin who was forcing him to do
But
it.
what you face with Golovkin is also a terrific professional. And that left punch again, which is so smooth but goes all the way in
In the
this.
fourth round, the outlook of the fight changed.
Dramatically, even though Gennady had punished Duran.
20 opponents from the first second,
No.
with 1 minute left to the end.
End of the episode, the pressure in his offense escalated to levels that would lead him to cause 2 knockdowns with brutal attacks.
Body shot.
He is so tough, so honest, and so good. They don't expect him to move here. But Golovkin is a fighter from
Murray
another
goes down, and Stringer's left misses. Another right to the body, and Murray goes down again.
Well, I commented after the fight
The
that...
pain was like I was about to give birth.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Where
but
are
the
you?
Briton managed to continue the fight despite his agony. Similarly, Golovkin kept pressuring him, winning round after round. At the end of the 7th round, Gennady had a big moment, sending Murray once again to the doorknob.
Product of a straight right punch.
Bye-bye.
Maybe that's where Golovkin wants it.
Also along row 12, Kamal trying to tee off against him. Leverage on those body punches that it hasn't
Good
last.
answer there, Frank Barth.
Everyone thought Marvel's end had come, but he showed great courage by standing up once more. Wasn't it until the 11th round when the fight seemed like a downpour of punches in one direction? What heart. He couldn't endure the level of brutality of the punishment that Gennady was dishing out for a few more seconds. 50 seconds after the assault began, he stopped the fight and awarded the victory to Golovkin by technical knockout.
All kinds of angles he invented, and finally these hits are starting to find their way through, and he's taking it out.
Gennady Golovkin vs. David Lemieux. The next victory of our hero was against a true artist from Canada, David Lemieux, with a record of 34 wins, had knocked out his opponents 31 times. In terms of punching power, this fighter was not inferior to Golovkin. Therefore, when the match was announced, all sports analysts agreed it was a tough test for the champion. Davids, who was sharing his opinion, took charge of giving mock testimonies about it. As usual from Golovkin's corner, there were no attacks before the fight. Over Madison Square Garden in New York, on October 17, 2015, Gennady let his fists do the talking. Once in the boxing ring, the difference in technical skills was
Awesome. Get ready.
One Golovkin simply punished his opponent.
His attacks consisted of wild jabs that always caused damage to Lemieux. Subtitles by the Amarator community. His assault on Gennady was the act of a terrible drama. Without ill intentions, he struck his opponent when he was already on his knees. His human quality showed, and he immediately apologized for his action. After that, the fight from the fans' perspective turned into an extended ending. Lemieux got up utterly shattered, only trying to escape Golovkin's ruthless swings out of there. For the 8th,
High pass, fill up, and started
playing with his prey like a predator, which is why referee Steve Willis decided to stop the fight. Gennady Golovkin versus Kyle Brooks.
to meet each
Next
other.
on the list of talkers is Kell Brueck. He was one of the most talented fighters in the middleweight category. A former world champion, damn!
According to the International Federation
Soon
of
boxing, and in due time.
The chosen one to defeat.
Right. Nobody speaks Afghan here.
It was supposed to happen on September 10th, 2016.
Odo's Arena in Greenwich,
London.
He was truly an incredibly talented fighter, who before facing Gennady, he has a record of 36 wins, achieving 25 of them by the tough route of knockout, without having been defeated. A natural welterweight, who took a desperate fight to challenge Gennady, jumping 2 categories at once. His bravery was appreciated by Golovkin, who agreed to fight him. Thrall weren't the odds in Brute's favor, but beyond the predictions, he truly believed in his success. Before the fight, he made sure to tell everyone he would tear Gennady to pieces. Once in the ring, his threats were sent out of this world by Golovkin's very fists. The result of the fight was even sadder than if Golovkin had simply been knocked out by his opponent. Right from the first round, Gennady managed to shock Brook several times with his punches.
Subtitles by the Amarador community. A heavyweight trophy. A heavyweight trophy. They are already out in the sun. Many heavy punches. He loved
the Brits
it.
seemed to recover quickly. Throughout the fight, both fighters had their moments.
Successful. Hi, who are you taking?
He was leading and putting on pressure while Brook was following closely. About half of the Gennady upped the pressure of his offense by throwing more and more punches.
It's Holwood's tribute. Looking forward to another round like the second one. Honorably found it in his street now.
During the break between the 4th and 5th round, Brook's corner notices a big bruise growing on their fighter's face. So apparently Golovkin noticed that weak spot in his opponent, and when the round started, he worked actively, landing devastating punches there.
It made it clear that the end
was close, but no one expected that could create a real drama scenario, pushing the Briton into a corner to throw in the towel.
Happy is the one who, this is a good combination. So many times in the past, this man goes up, then he goes to the end, and Brook is in transit. Brook is in a lot of trouble. Oh, these are heavy punches too. Does he say it or not?
After the fight, it was confirmed that Hell's corner concern was their lifeline. His fighter suffered a dangerous fracture around the eye during the fight, and if his team hadn't stopped the match, the outcome could have been even worse.
Sadder than a loss by forfeit. Broke kick.
He could have lost his vision. Even so, that fracture
pursued the Briton throughout his career,
preventing him from giving his best of himself. Later on, he would publicly admit his regret for having faced Gennady. Gennady Golovkin vs. Curtis Stevens. And the winner of the category got what he deserved. It can't be anyone other than Curtis Stevens. This fighter holds the title of being the most hated by Golovkin's fans. In fact, Gennady has many reasons not to like Stevens. For example, the numbers.
In all those insults that the American has thrown at him.
But Stevens did not stop at just verbal insults.
Organized a show.
No one else. Confirmation.
Online, it might not have been appreciated in the way that
what was waiting for him.
Which is why on November 2nd, 2013, in the ring at Madison Square Garden, Golovkin decided it was time to punish him. In hindsight, credit must be given to Stevens, who was truly determined to secure the victory that night. At the start of the fight, he was active and very involved. But already in the second round, he feared for his life as he was knocked down by Golovkin with a powerful left hook. Ironically, his expression after falling to the canvas was the source of many jokes on the internet after the fight. Once on his feet, the fight continued. Steven managed to reach the 8th zone,
round with Golovkin,
putting more and more pressure on him. Every now and then, it rained on the flyers which his body was not impervious to.
They claimed.
It's like we were hit, but...
After looking at the deplorable situation his loser found himself in, Stevens' team decided they wouldn't let their fighter go out for the 9th round. After so much taunting, Gennady secured an easy win. If you've made it this far, I appreciate it. Remember, the best way to support my content is by leaving a like on the video. Which as the boxer punished by Golovkin do you think should be in part 2 of this video? Let me know in the comments.